Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
So Hare Krishna dear devotees, today is with great honor and respect. We would like to welcome and invite and thank and acknowledge His Grace Madana-gopāla Prabhu, who has come all the way from New Jersey, and he has brought 10 devotees from America, and they have come to inspire us for 2 weeks. They'll be traveling in many temples here in Kenya. So let us welcome Madana-gopāla Prabhu by chanting one time, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So for those who do not know Madana-gopāla Prabhu, he was born in Kenya. He speaks fluent Kiswahili. He studied at ISKCON Primary School, and he's been in America for over 30 years. And he serves as a zonal supervisor for 5 temples in North America. And he's also the co-director for ISKCON Communications globally. And he's also a spiritual master. He's the youngest spiritual master in ISKCON. Haribol!
Haribol!
To become a spiritual master, a guru, you become after so many years. People become gurus even in their 80s, 90s. But him being young, he's taken this responsibility of guiding and mentoring many people. And for that, we're very fortunate that he comes to Kenya. He was here also last year. Haribol!
Haribol!
Very fortunate, very proud.
Very proud, as Mansi Ganga Mataji says. We are all very proud, of course. So with that said, today Madana-gopāla Prabhu is going to be speaking about walking in his footsteps, following Srila Prabhupada. What is the core meaning of being a Hare Krishna devotee, basically? This is what we are going to learn today. So, with not take more time, thank you very much, Madana-gopāla Prabhu ki
Jai!
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Govinda Prem Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Can't hear, yes?
Why are you sitting in the dark?
No, because the slides. So you can see. Yeah. You want to highlight Srila Prabhupada.
We can't see you well.
That's
Submit.
all right. I want to thank all of you for joining. We just landed at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport a few hours ago with our crew of devotees, and we're feeling very energized and excited to be here. Many of our devotees have never been to Africa before, and we've had many friends here, and now we had reunion, even though we never met in person. That was very sweet. So indebted to Govinda Prem Prabhu for organizing all this. Thank you, Prabhu. And I'm absolutely indebted to my dear mother, Mother Mansi Ganga Mataji. She don't like it when I talk about her. That's why I talk about her even more. It is only by her blessing that I understood what is Srila Prabhupada's teachings. My first voice, the first time I heard voice of Srila Prabhupada was because she gave me a cassette. You may not know what cassettes are, these little plastic things with tape in them, go round and round. And it was voice recording Srila Prabhupada, magnetic tape. And I used to go and listen to it, and then I used to come back and say, okay, we have another one. Like that, I learned a little bit about Srila Prabhupada by the mercy of Mansi Ganga Mataji. But the real teaching of Srila Prabhupada flows through the devotees who follow in his footsteps. That's why I'm saying walking in his footsteps. What does that mean to walk in his footsteps? How did I learn? Yes, I heard his voice. I read his books. But the real learning was when I saw devotees practicing. Devotees day in, day out. How can I give Krishna to others? And I saw in their faces that they're not doing this as a burden. They're doing it out of love. And when they do more, they get more energized. You know, some things we do, we get tired. Some things we get more energized. So I feel inspired by devotees who've been giving generation after generation, this love of Srila Prabhupada. And I'm most grateful. So, I'm going to begin with a simple truth. Srila Prabhupada did not establish just temples and buildings. He didn't just establish a legal entity called ISKCON. He didn't just establish communities. He didn't just produce publications. Of course, he did all those. But he established, more than anything, a culture. What is culture? A culture is it's a way of seeing the world. It's a way of seeing the world. It's a way of how we treat one another. It's the details on how we live our life, but not just for the formal ritualistic aspect. But how can we increase the overall selflessness and love in the world? That is what he taught, and that is called culture. See, Srila Prabhupada knew very well when he taught that spiritual life cannot be practiced, cannot exist in a vacuum of theory. It needs a supportive, what's called ecosystem. You know what's ecosystem? Everything's connected to each other. Everything has meaning. Every little thing we do has meaning. You look around, you see some of our devotees here, they have some lines on their head. What is the meaning of that? It's made of clay. What is the meaning of that? Some of us are wearing different clothes. What's the meaning of that? Some of us are wearing neck beads. What's the meaning? Everything has a meaning. Very profound meaning. He says that's called an ecosystem. It's all connected. And it wasn't just random. It was purposeful and scientific. But more than anything else, it was deeply compassionate. So what is this culture? That's why Prabhupada emphasized things like waking up early, chanting together, respecting each other. When we see each other, we bow down. At least we offer some respect. This is culture. We're not uncultured people. One thing I've seen in Kenya is that culture comes very naturally. Anybody who lives in Kenya, I've seen culture, respect. It's like it's vibrating from the earth itself. It's amazing. And I feel very fortunate to have grown up on this red soil of Kenya. It's there. Oh, you go other countries, you won't see it as strong as here. I'm telling you, trust me on this. So, for the new generation, embracing the cultural framework is not a hollow ritualism. You see, it has meaning. It changes the way you see things. It changes the way you get excited about certain things. And what is your priority in life. So that is the true genius of Srila Prabhupada. He didn't just give us teachings. He gave us a way of life in such a way that through living that life, the teachings become alive. So walking in his footsteps, he's not just the institutional founder, he is the heart anchor of our spiritual journey. See, heart anchor. He's a visionary who turned the impossible into reality and built a spiritual home vast enough for the whole world. The whole world can live in this. So today let's explore what it really means to follow him, his mood, his mission, his unique vision. And the heavy responsibility he's put on our shoulders. All of us. Yes. When we have some knowledge that can save somebody, it is incumbent upon us to save that person. If a person is walking and they see he's going to fall off a cliff, and you can see that's happening in the next 3 minutes, he's going to fall off a cliff. And if you don't do anything about it, we've abdicated our responsibility of being a compassionate human being. So compassion comes with our heart. All babies are born with it. When a baby is sitting over here happily smiling, another baby starts crying, that baby will start crying. It feels the pain of the other baby. It is part of who we are. But as we grow up and allow ourselves to cover up that compassion, we become uncomfortable and we don't know what causes the discomfort. Compassion is the foundation of the culture. And culture's whole point is compassion. To move from selfishness to selflessness. And that's all Krishna consciousness is about. I'll just read some of these. So, Srila Prabhupada said with striking simplicity, I have only one qualification. I never deviated from my Guru Maharaj. I never deviated 1 inch from what my teacher taught me. And he didn't deviate from what his teacher taught him. And that ultimate lineage goes back to Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This sentence, spoken so softly, was a thunderbolt of his greatness. His mood was not complicated. It was pure, unbroken faith, steady loyalty, boundless compassion. He saw the suffering of the world, the hungry hearts searching for meaning, not just the hungry stomachs. Anybody who is not in touch with God is incredibly uncomfortable and hungry, and that discomfort comes around in so many toxic ways. And he filled that missing gap in the world. And he did it with astonishing creativity. He gave this modern world the ancient Vaishnava culture. How amazing! This modern world that everything is so convoluted and twisted out of proportion. He managed to retrofit Vaishnavism, eternal principles of Krishna consciousness, and get them to the core of the hearts of the modern confused people. And he was very creative. He emphasized, he put men and women side by side. He said, both my daughters and sons, you both go out and preach. And he wrote about this. He said in the past, when the acharyas used to empower his preachers, they would only send the men. But he said, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm seeing that both my women disciples and men disciples are equally competent. He's written many times this thing. That was revolutionary, creative. Brothers have to respect their sisters as equals. You can't say, I'm a brother, so I'm better than you. No. This was considered, quote-unquote, traditional to suppress women. No. Prabhupada broke out of that. And he clarified. And he said, this is supported in Bhagavad Gita. Cannot discriminate. When it comes to Krishna consciousness, they're equals. At the same time, he also taught that tradition is the flame to be carried forward, not the ashes to be preserved. So there's some things about tradition that are flames and some things that are ashes that can hold us back. Things that are not relevant. That's called adjustment for time, place, and circumstance. And intelligence comes in when you recognize the difference between smoke and flame. When to leave the smoke behind and the flame forward. And Prabhupada gave so many personal examples, so we don't need to guess too much. He's given, by his example, his letters, his teachings, how to accomplish this. So, what does it mean to stay loyal to our Guru Parampara, our spiritual shelter? What is Guru Parampara? So, when we honor Srila Prabhupada's Parampara, it protects our practice, purpose, and community. What is this Parampara? Parampara means one after another, a lineage, a succession of teachers. We respect them because they are the branches and the stems and the leaves and the trunk of the tree that connects to the root of all existence. The root of all existence is Krishna. So how do we know that we're getting the fruit, the mango or the other fruits from that tree? How do you know that's the right fruit? Because you see it's connected all the way to the root. If the connection is broken, there's no mangoes. So, what does this parampara mean? It means we respect the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and the culture he established. It also means we remain loyal to him. Parampara forms a living spiritual body, the philosophy, the sadhana, which is the practices, leadership, education, association, mission. Now, why am I bringing this up? See, in recent years, in spite of understanding parampara in recent years, some outside groups have been approaching our devotees with alternative teaching. Oh, your parampara didn't give you everything. Alternative teaching. What do you mean alternative teaching? They come up with some kind of seductive sentiments. So I'll give you some sentiments that you're missing. Sometimes they may seem very charming, they may seem very profound, emotionally appealing also. But stepping outside the shelter of Srila Prabhupada's lineage is like uprooting a delicate plant from the garden which is meant to bloom. Even if it survives, it loses the fragrance of the original connection. And it loses the connection to the garden that it belongs to. Prabhupada was crystal clear. Take your shelter from the Sampradaya. Sampradaya means the parampara, the lineage, and the mission that he established. The instruction, the shiksha we need is abundant. It's so much in ISKCON. The mercy we seek is flowing like a river. Prabhupada said himself, I've given you everything in my books. I've given you everything. You don't need to go. Even back then when he was personally, physically available, he said this. You don't need to go outside. Why? Because this is happening even back then. This is very important. Loyalty is important. Why? Because Prabhupada is loyal. We need to take all our cues from Srila Prabhupada. Why do we say following in his footsteps? It means we don't budge from what he did. Now, how can we please Srila Prabhupada? Okay, well that begs the question, do we need to please Srila Prabhupada?
Yes, of course.
Why? Because he's given us ISKCON, that's right, 100%. We need to please Srila Prabhupada because Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado Yasya prasadat na gati kutopi Dhyayam stu vamstasya yashasri sangyan vande guroshi charanaramindam. If Srila Prabhupada is not pleased, or if you please Srila Prabhupada, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, then Bhagavan, Krishna is pleased. If our Guru is pleased, Krishna is pleased. Yasya prasada na gati kutopi. But if you not strive to please Srila Prabhupada, then na gati kutopi. There is no possibility of reaching the spiritual destination, making any progress. Therefore, we meditate upon the spiritual master and his instructions. This is a very key point. So, how do we please Srila Prabhupada? First, he pleaded with us repeatedly. Please cooperate. What does cooperate means? You work together to do something. Cooperation is not easy in this world. Even if two devotees are very dedicated, somehow there's slight disconnect or slight disagreement. I don't want to work with you. I've had enough of you. It's not easy. It is not easy to cooperate. But that's why he asked us. He didn't ask us to do easy things. He asked us difficult things. Now, how hard can it be? Devotee is so nice. Yes, devotee is very nice. But we have to bring our full niceness. Amanina Manadena is not something to give respect and not expect respect. Oh, hard to do. But yet he expected us to do it. So cooperation means more than just working together. It means loving one another, forgiving one another, supporting one another, and seeing every devotee as part of the same spiritual family. This is not a theoretical thing. Rupa Goswami talks about this all the time. We have to associate with devotees. How do we associate? We open our hearts with each other. We break bread together. Not today, today's Ekadashi. But, you know what I mean. You take prasadam together, you open your hearts with each other, you give each other little gifts, give each other your time. Then what happens, when you have to work together, it's easy. If you've done all that, then you have to work together, it's easy. Then the love flows. Second, he wanted his books to remain the center of our lives. Read my books, distribute my books, and your life will be perfect, Prabhupada said. It's true. Even if you read Bhagavad Gita or Prabhupada's books, any of Prabhupada's books, 100 times, if you're feeling down, open any one of his books. Guaranteed you will not feel down for very long. Read the book. I've had personal experience so many times. I'm confused what to do in this particular very intense life situation. Open Bhagavatam randomly. That scenario is almost identical to what I'm going through. And it tells me what I should do. Like answer to my prayer. You will not get this from ChatGPT. You'll get it from Bhagavatam. It's a mystical. I'm not kidding. And then he wanted us to chant with sincerity. What does it mean to chant with sincerity? It means we're not doing it just for the numbers. We're doing it to cry out to Krishna. Krishna, I only have this one life. This one opportunity. I don't know my next life. If I don't make it now, my next life I'll be something. I'm going to have to make the chance. I have the chance now. Please let my chanting mean something. If you chant with that mood, that's called chanting with sincerity. Even one attentive round will give you so much progress. What does it mean to be sincere? Means you're not cheating yourself. I ain't cheating myself. I don't cheat myself. I cheat other people. How can I cheat myself? Actually, we are cheating ourselves. We think we accomplish things by doing something ritualistically. And when we think that by doing a ritual motion, I'll get the result of doing it with the heart, that's called cheating myself. And we cheat others also like that. You know the word sincere? It comes from Latin sincera. Sin means without, and cera means wax. And I'll give you the reasoning behind it. You know, in Italy, they have these very famous marble carvings. Have you seen the marble artists? The very beautiful marble carvings. And so the artists like Michelangelo, and they would go to market. They go to marble market. They buy big blocks of marble. And they cost a lot of money. Now sometimes the blocks of marble will have cracks in them. So some unscrupulous marble merchants, they would put this white colored wax and fill the cracks with it. So it looks like solid marble. And they sell this one. And then one other seller, he said, no, my marble has no wax. Sincera. The cracks are there, you see, that's how they are. Means I'm not hiding anything. Therefore the pricing is exactly what it should be. So we don't need to hide anything. If we are honest, we are without that wax. This is who I am. It's called sincera, sincere. So maybe we don't want to do that in front of other people, that's okay. But at least in front of Krishna, in front of Prabhupada, we can be sincere and pray, my dear Krishna, I want to chant in a way that pleases you. How will I know that? Just chant with love, with no other motivation. So he said, your purity is the force. And most of all, Srila Prabhupada wanted us to take responsibility. Why? Responsibility for our own lives. Nobody else owes us anything. We are the architects of our future. Yes, when we're in a circle of devotees, we support each other, for sure. But we still have to fly our own planes. Have you heard that Nairobi? Prabhupada said, we all have to fly our own planes. Because the time of death, your consciousness is your own. What's going to happen at the time of death is a culmination of what you've done your whole life. Your life flashes before you. You might have heard this. When people go through near-death experience, my life flashed before me. I saw a slideshow of my life. Very fast. In just a few seconds. What images are going to make it to that slideshow? The most intense experiences of our life are going to make it to the slideshow. Whether it's heavy, whether it's very joyous, whether it's very difficult. Only the most intense things are going to make it to the slideshow. And that is going to determine your consciousness. Therefore, when we take up Krishna consciousness, we want Krishna to be in the slideshow, and our Krishna conscious practice to show up there at the end, then it has to reach a level of intensity. Our practice will be so intense that we move to tears. Otherwise, we will not make it, other slides will come up. And that's going to determine our next life. So we are choosing the images right now. We are building the PowerPoint deck every day. And that's going to be shown in high definition. Nobody else is going to see it. So we are architects of our own slideshow at the end of life. Therefore, tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. The practice of Krishna consciousness you do right now better be intense. Means you bring your heart into it. Now, what supports intensity? Culture. The culture. You take up these practices. You eat only prasadam. You give up any trace of intoxicants. These are things, surrender. Surrender means you give up things that are coming in the way of our Krishna conscious growth. Don't even dream about exploiting somebody else for your selfishness. We want to abandon every trace of selfishness. It's not easy to do. Not easy to do. But at least we know we're supposed to do it. And the cultural framework helps us accelerate in that process. That's why we wear what we wear. That's why we sit the way we sit. That's why we bow down. That's why we keep clean. That's why we take a shower. There's a reason for that. When I first saw devotees bowing down just like this, I'm like, this is so weird. And then I saw devotees bowing down flat. Oh, this is even more weird. But then I learned, no, I should do this. This is nice. This is humility. This is culture. So, everything that Srila Prabhupada taught us, even the little things, they're very profound. And even some of the smallest things, you will be amazed at how much they move us. So Prabhupada said, do something wonderful for Krishna. Then Krishna will come. He will force his way into your mind at the time of death. If you do something wonderful for Krishna. Don't wait for someone else, he will say. But rise with personal initiative, spiritual courage, and heartfelt service. Now he wanted us to give Krishna to the world. To touch the life of others. Not just with theory, but with kindness. We cannot pretend to be happy. We have to actually be happy. People can sense it. I'll tell you something personal. I'm going to utterly embarrass my dear mother, Auntie Grandma. When I first started coming here, she would come down and walk so quickly toward me, the temple. I was only 14 years old. I was a little kid like this. And she would say, are you observing Ekadashi today? Or can I get you grain Mahaprasad? Wow. I'm like, what is Ekadashi? I had no clue. But she would, when I saw, how is this amazing divine personality so happy to see me? What's so special about me? Nothing. Even today, nothing special about me. But when I realized that this is called happiness. Why is she so happy? There must be something she's doing. There is other devotees also very happy. Something happening. The smile are genuine. It's not like that you see in the advertisements of TV. Those smiles, you can tell that the models are smiling and they're tired of smiling because they just have to take photographs. Real happiness you can sense. You cannot fake it. So unless we are happy, we cannot touch someone else with our happiness. We cannot be happy unless we're touching Krishna. We cannot be happy unless we have peace. Ashantasya kuta sukham, nasi buddhi yuktasya, nacha yuktasya bhavana, nacha bhavayata shanta, ashantasya kuta sukham. Krishna says in the second chapter of the Gita, if your intelligence is not connected with me, you will not be peaceful. That's a fact. And if you cannot be peaceful, you cannot be happy. How can it be possible? You're trying to enjoy some ice cream and you got sand in your socks. You can't enjoy it. You won't be at peace, even with the best ice cream. So, peace can only be found at the lotus feet of Krishna. And that's the secret that Prabhupada wants. So, be kind. Give Krishna to others. Give prasadam. Give wisdom. Give kirtan and genuine care. This is what flows from the hearts of devotees, genuine care. And encouragement. Support each other. This is a hard process. Be there when people are going through difficulties. Be caring, be loving. The world out there is discouraging enough. We don't need to give more discouragement. We need to be the shop of encouragement. Our flagship product in ISKCON is love and encouragement. That's what we produce. That's what we are trying to offer for free in this shop. That's what Prabhupada came with. Came with shipping containers full of love and encouragement. Loaded Jaladuta, you can. So how to please Srila Prabhupada? Sincere chanting, even one attentive round can transform you. Try that tomorrow or tonight. This round is going to be a golden round. So sincere. After that maybe okay, but this particular round is going to be the best I've ever done. Our best japa ever. How? I'm going to sit properly, I'm going to give my mind, my attention, and express my love, appreciation, my gratitude. I'm going to do one solid golden round, the rest of the rounds, okay. I'll try to make them also golden, at least one. Live with purity of intention, honesty and compassion. Above all, be honest with ourselves. We are living in the material world. You know the material world is, what is the foundation of the material world? Earth, air, water, fire? No. This is not the foundation of the material world. If you look at the creation account of the material world, Lord Brahma starts with the foundation. If you want to build a house, you build a foundation. The foundation is made of what, you know? You'll be amazed. Foundation of the material world is made of self-deception. The whole world sits on a platform of self-deception. You pull that out, everything is gone. The whole material illusion collapses if you stop cheating yourself. Yeah. We cannot stop cheating ourselves unless we know what it means to be honest. Therefore, honesty, purity of intention, honesty, and then compassion. Compassion means you feel someone else's pain by dint of your own experience. Okay. Personal responsibility. Prabhupada said, do something wonderful for Krishna. Understand the culture, absorb the culture. If you have questions about the culture, ask. What is this mud on your face every morning? No, I'll explain to you. But at least have respect for the principle of culture. And when you learn about it, you're like, whoa, this is amazing. Can I get some of that mud? And you'll feel so nice when you put mud on your face in the morning. Like, what? Who does that? No, we do it. This is special clay. It's the body of the gopis. Wow. So once you know the depths of it, the soul in your heart dances. And you'll experience a categorically different happiness that you've never experienced before. I know you've all experienced it when you practice Krishna consciousness. I'm just preaching to the choir over here. But what comes in our way is lack of consistency. We want to be consistent. That's why we want to reflect and make outward life reflect the deep devotion he inspired. So our outward life should reflect his teachings. We cannot be acting in ways that are contrary to what he taught. You know, a great saint said, always preach, all the time. And if absolutely necessary, use words. What does that mean? That means your talking is only a small part of your preaching. The actual preaching is how you live. Even when you're having a meeting, the actual messaging, 75% of the message, not what's coming out of your mouth, is your body language. It's expressions. That's why people have face-to-face meetings. They fly. They take a flight to go from New York to Tokyo to have a face-to-face meeting for one day. Why? They can just have a phone call. No. A Zoom call. No. Body language means a lot. Why is that so important? Because how we represent ourselves is a reflection of who we are. Therefore, at the core, we have to try to polish clean the mirror of the heart by chanting and by living in the cultural framework. So, I mentioned earlier, equality is Prabhupada's heart for inclusivity. He pioneered placing women in preaching roles. That was not done before. And he was very proud of it. He encouraged women as preachers, worship leaders, managers. See, you may not know this. This is a big part of what I rally for in US. And I was inspired because growing up I see our mothers are giving us so much inspiration. I won't embarrass Masika Mataji again. Oh, I will embarrass. Prototype of perfect behavior. Like, why would you say Mataji should be leading? Mataji is leading a very successful temple right now in Nakuru. In USA, we have so many temple presidents who are running massive big temples and communities, some of the biggest ones by Vaishnavis. We have spiritual masters of Vaishnavis also. Yes, they're there. Prabhupada is the one, he redefined the leadership role traditionally. So, here in Kenya today, let us not forget what Prabhupada's culture was around this topic. Okay, let's not let anyone fool us. To follow Prabhupada means to open our temples and hearts to all. This world is aching for a movement that sees all the souls as souls instead of skins and devotion. Inclusivity. He declared in this Krishna consciousness, these material designations do not exist. So, same thing. Gender roles, racial discrimination. Prabhupada is completely against all kinds of discrimination when it comes to giving Krishna consciousness to others. So there are two wings now. There are two wings we need to think about when we embrace the path of Krishna consciousness. One is internal depth, our own internal practice. You don't need to tell anybody. This is what your relationship between you and Krishna. This is what happens in the morning or in the evening whenever you sit down with your beads and you have a conversation. This internal depth of Krishna consciousness. How can we ensure our internal practice is deep? Remember, you can't fake it and rehearse for how you're going to show it. You have to actually practice. So how do you do it? Sincere chanting. You do regular japa with focus. Study diligently. Reading Bhagavatam and authentic teachings. Live ethically. Don't preach one thing and do something else. Be humble in your exchanges. Be gentle. Be meek. Believe it or not, humility is one of the 6 symptoms of surrender to God. Dainya. Something is very deep. Of course, we want to practice genuinely with consistent discipline. And yes, we want to preach, but we don't want to be superficial preaching. Our own depth will come through when we speak. And when we answer questions, people realize, yes, this person is actually doing something that's meaningful. This is how we want to be. And then the other wing we have to integrate is outreach. You cannot do outreach if you don't have in-reach. So we talked about the internal aspect of the wing. This is the other wing. Preaching, service, and compassionate outreach as essential complements to personal practice. Some people only practice, they do not preach. Some people preach, but they do not practice. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I want devotees who will do both. Those are the best. You know? Those who just like to associate with people, they're known as Goshti Anandi. And those who just want to stay by themselves and go deep in their bhajan, not talk to anybody, it's called Bhajan Anandi. They get their Ananda means their bliss from that internal worship. And Goshti Anandi gets their bliss from hanging out with other people. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was asked this question, who is better? Or what should we be? Should we be Bhajan Anandis or Goshti Anandis? Anybody know what he said?
Both.
He said we have to be Bhajan Anandi who preaches. Our Ananda comes from Bhajan. But our responsibility to share it is also means we have to mingle with others and give. The Ananda doesn't come from just the social aspect of superficial social life. We don't want that to be the source of bliss, and then when we're alone we feel so down. It's so boring. No. You'll never be alone when you're Krishna conscious. The nectar comes from that japa and that connect the reading and the reflection. That's the nectar. And then you share with others and you develop deep, meaningful friendships. That is beyond the superficial, even Goshti Anandi. It's beyond, because you're still a Bhajan Anandi. The Ananda comes from Bhajan. So both, that's correct. So that's why I said the both wings are there, you see. How do you integrate? When you integrate both, we have strong personal practice and embracement of the culture, and then put as much effort and energy in reaching out, giving to others. Then you have a bird with two wings. Then you can fly. The one wing you cannot fly. So integration of both wings is soaring. You're vibrant with devotional life. You lead by example. Cultivate personal spirituality while guiding others. That's Prabhupada's model that he taught us. Preaching with compassion. Communicate the teachings by humbly trying to inspire others. Seva, service, practical help. Do some practical, humble thing. Do a little bit cleaning. Do some lifting, some things that need to be lifted for the temple. Drive the car for the temple. Do something, maybe give out a book, maybe donate something. There are different kinds of seva you can do, meaningful thing. Right. And then consistent outreach. We want consistency. So just to summarize, how are we going to carry Prabhupada's legacy forward? Remain loyal to Parampara and Prabhupada's teachings. He has given us everything. Nothing is missing from there. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Trust the shelter. He's built an incredible network of temples. It's not easy to pull that off. You can see the divinity in what he did. His communities and systems. Understand his emphasis, following his footsteps of seeing all the souls equally. We don't see in terms of skin color, in terms of gender roles, in terms of age, in terms of nationality, in terms of the religious background that you come from. None of that matters. Everybody's a soul. I don't know if you can read this. And then cooperate faithfully. We talk about cooperation like family. We talk about authentic living as the greatest gift. People can see it on your face if you're authentic. And people can see right through you if you're not. Even little kids can see right through you. You know? Keep courage, keep humility, and the mission at the center of your outreach. So these are some very important points that our dear friend Govinda Prem Prabhu encouraged me to emphasize. So I thought I'd put them together. Prabhupada embodied all this. And the hardest thing is to work cooperatively. It's not easy. Just because not easy doesn't mean we don't do it. We give up on it. No, cooperate. Find ways. Get guidance from devotees who are good at it. Soften up your stances. Learn to forgive more easily. Let things go. Don't make big things out of small things. Don't aggravate and escalate the outrage. We're good at that. We're really good at it. In fact, nowadays we get even very good because on social media, the algorithms, they thrive on outrage. And so when we get trapped in the social media circles, the vicious circle, we get expert at being outraged. And then we think, oh, I'm so smart. Krishna talks about this in the Gita. Did you know that? He said, those who are expert at insulting others. To get expertise means doing a lot of practice. Who sits there practicing how to insult people? This is not who we are. We want love. Practice forgiveness. Prioritize forgiveness. Mutual support. Be selfless. Then you can dance and chant with joy. I mentioned how Prabhupada's books are the foundation. They're the living guides that teach our philosophy. Like I mentioned, you open a book, you'll solve your problems. I'm always amazed that when someone asks a question, even a very unusual question, that you'll find a very clear answer in the Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita doesn't have that many verses. I mean, how can you answer every question in just like 700 verses? It's amazing. It's amazing. And every verse in the Gita shows how Krishna loves us and how he's embracing us. Just look for that thread of Krishna. And how do we pay back Srila Prabhupada? He gave us so much, how do we pay him back? Can we pay him back? No. We cannot pay him back, it's not possible. But we can pay it forward. Somebody gave us Prabhupada's teachings. What can I do for that person? No, I have to give it to 5 other people. At least one other person. Or 50 others, depending on your capacity. When you find a treasure of gold, and the nature of the treasure is the more coins you give away, the more coins produced in the treasure set. Then you keep giving, right? You give away 1 coin and you look in your box, there's 5 coins now. For every coin you give away, there'll be 5 coins. That's the magic of Prabhupada's treasure. The more you give, the more depth you'll find in your own heart. Why would you not? That's why give. Somebody gave it to us. I was not born with it. Even if you're fortunate to be born in that family, still your parents, they give it to you. You owe it to the person who gave it to you. This joy, this Krishna consciousness. So conclusion, to follow Srila Prabhupada is to sit at his feet in humility, to rise with his mission in our heart, and to walk with his courage in our steps. It means remaining loyal to the parampara that he protected very strongly. It means staying safe under the shelter he built. It means seeing all souls as equals, with equal eyes. It means keeping his books and chanting at the center of our lives. It means cooperating with each other in affection. It means extending his compassion. This is compassion. Carry forward his compassion to the world, like he extended to us. He says, my only desire is that you become happy by serving Krishna. And the greatest offering we can make to him is to live in such a way. We have to live in such a way that others find Krishna through our character, through our association and our love. And you don't need to wait until you're fully pure, by the way. I'll tell you a quick story. Very quick. This is my personal story. I've told it a few times. Happened right here in Nairobi. I was 14 years old. I just got my beads from the temple here. Once again, my mother, she helped me get a bead bag also. And so I was going to go to high school. And in my blazer, I would put my beads and I would chant Hare Krishna at break time. I would like a little bit self-conscious. I won't tell other people. I'll just chant Hare Krishna. Like I actually asked her, how many rounds are you supposed to chant? She said, no, we chant 16 rounds. Oh, okay. I started chanting 16 rounds from the day one. I thought it's an offense to chant less than 16 rounds. Somehow. I thought that's like the bare minimum. It turns out it is. So I started chanting. I was standing the break time. And this one friend of mine, he came, he said, what are you doing? Are you hiding something? I said, yeah, I'm chanting this Hare Krishna. Oh, show me, what is this? I showed him the beads. I want to learn also. I said, yes. And I taught him, so every day at break time, somehow he found some beats in his house and he brought him to sit at break time and chant one round together. And he was asking, so what did you learn? I said, I don't know too much, but I learned this thing last week, I should tell him. And he started practicing Krishna consciousness at home. My classmate, his name was Ajul Shah. And then, of course, I went to the US to do further studies in college, and we kind of lost touch. And then about 2 years later, I got a letter in the mail, written by his father. Somehow his father didn't even know me, but he found out my address, he found out everything, and he wrote a very heartbreaking letter. He says, your dear friend Ajul, he passed away. It was a violent kind of thing. Somebody actually shot him and stole his car while he was in the van. And he had some other friends. The friend survived, but he was shot and he died. But as he died, he was chanting Hare Krishna. And his father said, friends all reported he was chanting Hare Krishna, and he passed away his last breath. And his father wrote a letter, I want to thank you for giving my son Hare Krishna. Why am I telling you this? I'm saying you don't need to wait until you know the mastery of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. I was just starting out myself. Just share what you have experienced. Share your joy in discovering something so beautiful and unique. That's what preaching is about. Don't wait. Give it to somebody else. And if you're not good at saying something, it's okay. Invite them. So there's a gathering where someone is actually good at saying things. It's okay. Be an instrument in sharing Krishna with others. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada will be eternally indebted to you. You know, Krishna, he can force us to be Krishna conscious. We can all be like robots, according to his program. But he won't do that. He's taken a vow to preserve our independence. He will not disturb us. No, you do this. I'll prepare the word for you. I will not disturb your independence. Otherwise, that's not love. I can't force you. He's taken a vow, not disturb anybody. We have not taken that vow. We will go out. We will disturb people. Hey, check this out. What is this? Very nice. You'll like it. Why are you smiling so much? Come, I'll show you why I'm smiling so much. We have not taken that vow. And when we do something that pleases Krishna, that he is vow bound, we can do something God cannot. That pleases him. Wow. That is a unique position to be in. It doesn't take much power. I was only 14 when I managed to share it. That's it. You don't need to be very old. You don't need to be a particular level of scholarship. You just need to discover the value of it and share it with others. And that, my dear friend, is what the essence of walking in his footsteps. Srila Prabhupada, thank you for gathering today. Whenever we speak about Srila Prabhupada, we're not conducting a lecture. We're entering a sacred space of remembrance. Because Prabhupada is like I said, he's the heart anchor of our spiritual lives. He turned this impossible thing into reality. So it's incumbent upon us to pay it forward. That's the only way we can pay it back. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much for your valuable time and your kind attention. Do we normally have exchange? Comment? Yeah, we can turn on the light now. Turn on the light. And if anyone has any comments or questions, we have a microphone here. We can pass this microphone. Anybody back there? Any questions?
They say if you didn't ask any question, it means you understood everything or you understood nothing. Oh yeah, one question. Okay, we'll take one question. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Madana-gopāla.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for sharing us.
Do you mind standing up? I can't see you, sorry. Yes, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
My name is Bhakta Rono.
Oh, yes, no. Haribo.
Haribo. So I have one question about you said you don't have to be pure so that you can share this message with others. So sometimes the impurities and the incapabilities come to surface. So what should be the approach? What should be the practice to kind of know you are not there, but you want to do this sadhana?
Very good question. It is said we should not hear from a person whose heart is not pure. It's true. If a person who is ill-motivated, then hearing from them, even the message of God, is like drinking milk that's touched by the lips of a serpent. Someone who's ill-motivated. Now, who is pure? Actually, we don't need to be pure. When Srila Prabhupada was preaching in New York City, he just started out, ISKCON was not even registered. Or maybe it was just newly registered. It was 26 2nd Avenue. And he was preaching, he was giving a class. And one very old man, I don't know whether he was homeless man, he came to the toilet paper. Was he homeless? He was a homeless man, very disheveled. He brought brand new toilet paper, he went in the bathroom, he opened it, he stopped it, and he went back, he did like this and went back. Prabhupada said, this is pure devotional service. The man may not be pure, but the act was pure. The intention was clean. To help clean. What is the point here? The point is this garland. It is not one flower, it's a string of many flowers. So our life can be a string of individual, discrete, purely motivated actions. We may not be pure. We don't need to claim to be pure. Oh, I am pure. No, it's okay. I am pure or not pure is not relevant. Is my action right now pure? Is the next action pure? Is my motivation to help somebody sincerely? Then it's pure. That's why you don't need to actually be pure to do something pure. You see? But if you get in the habit of doing one pure thing after another, then you become pure. That's the system. That's why it works. Because the action itself is what determines your purity, not your state of mind at that time. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. This process of Krishna consciousness is like cleaning the mirror of the heart, of the consciousness. And when we get fully clean, then we can see ourselves. Now the success of that depends on two things. How dirty is the mirror and how intensely are you cleaning? Sometimes the mirror is very clean, not so dirty, it's just smudgy, but I'm not doing a good job, I'm just doing it like half-heartedly. Then it will always remain smudgy. Or sometimes very muddy, you can't see anything, but the person is working very, very hard. So the person is working really hard at it, will get a clean mirror much faster, even though the mirror is more muddy. So our purity will depend on the intensity of what we do and our intentionality. Intentionality will determine the success. Start with one pure act at a time and make a garland of pure acts, then you offer that to Krishna. And that makes us pure. That's why we don't need to be pure. Don't worry, I'm not pure, what can I do? No. At least you know this particular thing is pure. The thing itself is pure. I'm not pure, but I can chant. Because the holy name is so pure. No matter how impure you are, you can never make the holy name impure.
Yeah.
It's like saying the stool on the road is going to make the sun impure. No, the sun is going to disinfect the stool. You understand? No amount of impurity can stand in front of the sun of Krishna's holy name. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andhakar Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Mayar Adhikar. So darkness has no right, no possibility when there is light. So when you have light of Krishna, then that act of purity will render you pure for that duration of that time. You just have to extend the duration until it becomes a continuous stream. Does that help, Prabhu?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
So we won't take any more questions because of time. We have some devotees who have to go very far. So let us give one round of applause to His Grace Madana-gopāla. Actually, when Madana-gopāla Prabhu was speaking, I was realizing, all the qualities he mentioned about how to become a follower of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada lived them actually. Because if we see the history of ISKCON, when Prabhupada went to America, neither did he have any money, neither did he have any manpower. But just by his practical behavior, just by his practical example, he attracted so many people to come and join and give their whole lives. Like, see, today we have this temple, this Hare Krishna temple here in Nairobi. None of us bought this land. But 50 years ago, this temple, when Prabhupada came, he was walking on this street. He said, look for that line down there, and in the future, so many students will come to the temple, and so many people in the city will always be coming to the temple. And see, today we have over 30 students here.
Vivo.
To become a follower of Srila Prabhupada means to behave properly, as Prabhu was mentioning. And we see that in Prabhupada's life. So thank you very much, Madana-gopāla Prabhu. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. at the temple room, Madana-gopāla Prabhu will be giving the Bhagavatam class, and the topic is based on family life. Family life. If you want to understand what is family life, how to live as husband and wife, that is the topic in the Bhagavatam. Please come on time, 8 a.m. And with that, we would like to stop here. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
His Grace Madana-gopāla Prabhu ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Vivo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.